Coming up on today's video, I'm going to tell you how the New Orleans Saints can get under the cap situation. They are currently about $82 million over the cap, and I have a little bit of a secret for you. I saved the Saints over $100 million. So stick around today's video so you can find out how the Saints can have some money to spend. But before we dive into that, if you want daily Saints coverage, I encourage you to join our family of over 26,000 subscribers here at Saints Now by Chat Sports. Our goal on this video, we want 30 new homies to join our squad. So lock us in, subscribe for free Saints coverage all year round. As always, I'm your host, Trace Girouard. Welcome into Saints Now by Chat Sports. We have a lot of fun to get into, and I'm so pumped to tell y'all how the Saints can save a lot of money by not having to do too much damage to their roster. So let's dive into the current cap situation so we can set the scene here. The New Orleans Saints, per Spotrac, are dead last in cap space. No surprise there. And hopefully one of these days, we can all see the Saints not be dead last, maybe even in the top half of cap space. That'd be pretty cool going into the offseason. But as we said earlier, New Orleans is about $82 million over that number. And in 2024, the cap space right now is set to be about $243 million. And there's the average age of the roster. Actually have the oldest roster in the NFL, 27.4 years, and it's right next to the New York Jets, who are about 27.3, kind of like right there. It's, like just a couple months of a difference in terms of those roster ages. And worth noting, and it is important to highlight this information, the 2024 cap hit, according to reports from Mike Florio, could get as high as about $250 million. So if it does increase from that 243 number to 250, think about it this way. The Saints basically got $7 million in free cap space. Essentially, they're over the cap $7 million less if that happens. But I want to dive into the offseason needs because I think that the Saints do need to address some spots in order to improve their roster, get back to the postseason. I really want to see them add a linebacker, maybe some cornerback depth, a safety definitely, wide receiver depth. I'm a greedy son of a gun when it comes to that. Edge rusher and offensive line, those are my two biggest needs. And when it comes to filling in those needs, you can only address a few of them because right now you only have 5 draft picks. You have a pick in the first round, you have the Broncos second, and then you don't pick again until round 5, then round 6, and round 7, which is via the Denver Broncos. Now, New Orleans is eligible for 3 comp picks due to David Onyemata, Caden Ellis, and Marcus Davenport leaving in free agency last offseason. So there's a lot of work to be done and a lot of needs that need to be addressed, but it's going to take a miracle. So let's go, Saints. If you have faith in Kai Harley, I need you to get in the comment section. Kai. I believe in that man. He is a cap wizard and a cap guru. Can't wait to see him get his hands dirty and make this team some money. So coming up next, I'm going to dive into how the Saints can clear up all $82 million. We set the scene, we set the foundation, and now it's time to talk about how to get that money back. But before we do, I want to talk about how you can get some money back. If you go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and plug in promo code CLNS, you can get a $100 deposit match, meaning you put in $100, they throw $100, their own cheddar, so you can put your projections down. Prize Picks is daily fantasy sports made easy. You pick 2 to 6 players, choose more or less based on their projected stat lines. And for today, I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of a sneaky hockey fan. I'm not like a diehard fan, but I love watching the hockey, and I'm a huge Dallas Stars fan. Wyatt Johnston, he's the young buck. I'm really impressed with what he's been able to do this year. Give me the more on 0.5 points. And Jack Hughes of the New Jersey Devils, I'm going to have him to do more than 4 shots on goal. Now, they don't just have NHL. They have NFL. They have MLB. They have college sports, esports, NASCAR, racing. They have it all. So if you want to get started, go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Plug in that promo code CLNS. So that way you can get started with that $100 deposit match. All that information is in the comment section description of this video because I love you. All right, let's talk about clearing up some money. No more messing around. let's go get rich, baby. First things first, you got to go and restructure Derek Carr. And if you guys remember the contract that he signed, I mean, it's very obvious. The Saints are going to overpay, and they're not overpay. They're going to pay what they see a player's value is, and then they're just going to push off the money to the end of the line. They're going to keep kicking the can. That's the phrase that a lot of Saints fans and a lot of haters like to use. But in terms of restructuring Derek Carr, if you were to do that, you could save $23 million, which is a lot of money. Like, you're at about $82 million. You're saving about a quarter of that by restructuring one player. That's pretty big. So you got to restructure Derek Carr. And the production in 2023, it was up, it was down, it was left, and it was right. Some fans like to look at his numbers and say, that's pretty impressive. Just under 4,000 yards, 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Completion percentage is just under 70%. Not bad. But then there's a lot of fans out there and a lot of people who like to look at the production and say those were empty stats, that it came in garbage time. And you can kind of just make your own opinion based on what you see in the tape and whatnot. But I do believe the offense should improve under Clint Kubiak being the new offensive coordinator. Now, I really am excited to see Derek Carr with Kubiak because with this new offense, it's going to be smoother and much more quarterback friendly. And now, I'm not saying it's going to be more dumbed down. It's not going to be easier to run, but it's going to give Carr options, and he's going to be able to have a routine of check 1, 2, 3 on terms of who your hot routes are and which player is going to get the ball. Go through your progressions, and then quick decision, throw the ball away or dump it down to the check down. This is going to allow Derek Carr to be more comfortable. It's going to allow him to be a little bit more productive, and I think that it's going to be helpful for him because if you remember what happened with Matthew Stafford when he got into this kind of system, worked out pretty well, and they won a Super Bowl. So let's get to number 2. You got to renegotiate Ryan Ramczyk's contract. Now, not restructure. You got to renegotiate it. And this is kind of a selfish thing, and this is kind of me being a little cheap son of a gun, if you will. But at the end of the day, Ryan Ramczyk, he's dealing with some injury stuff. He has virtually no cartilage left in his leg or in his knee. He's going to be trying to play through all that, and he's a damn good football player when he's healthy. However, he's starting to get up there in the age column. He could be forced into retirement here in this offseason, next offseason or something like that. So this is kind of the opportunity to renegotiate the contract so the Saints can get as much money back as possible. So if you were to do that, you would save $12.6 million with $0 in dead money. And the overall PFF grades, you guys see him down there. He had 73.5 overall grade. In terms of run blocking, 67.3, and the pass blocking, 73.6. Of course, PFF grades aren't the end-all, be-all, but I do think that they write a good story and help illustrate the production for an offensive lineman. Now let's get to number 3. You got to bring out your scissors and you got to make some cuts, but not too many. But you do need to cut this guy, Marcus May. And I personally was excited when the Saints went and signed Marcus May. However, how things have kind of panned out then. He's dealt with a suspension. He's had some injuries. He's missed time and stuff. So I think that cutting Marcus May would make some sense. And I would label him as a post-June 1 cut. You only get 2 of those. You get 2 players that you can designate as post-June 1 cuts. So the New Orleans Saints would save $7.24 million, about $7.25 million if they cut Marcus May. You would have $2.41 million in dead money, but you can spread that out over the next few years, and plus it's not even $3 million. Pay that off here next offseason or this, and you're good. But why would we cut Marcus May? I really liked what Jordan Howden did. He was really, really impressive in his rookie season. He showed a lot of versatility. He was really good. He had a lot of really good plays. I'm excited to see that continued development. I would love to see him and Tyrann Mathieu be running mates. And one of the other things I love about Howden, I said it a minute ago, the versatility. He played safety. He played in the box. He played all over the defense. He is a player that I'm excited about and that the Saints nailed that draft pick on. Like I said, it's nothing against Marcus May as a person. I have nothing against him as a player. I have nothing against him as an individual. But this is a business. And you got to make business decisions when it comes to cap space. So at the end of the day, unfortunately, it seems like Marcus May, in my books, should be cut because Jordan Howden, he can hold it down. And he's much, much younger, by the way. So, bring your pitchforks out, everybody. It's going to get ugly. Next thing, got trade Alvin Kamara. And I'm going to tell you all this right now. I'm going to set the tone right now. I don't want to trade Kamara. Let me make that very clear. I don't want to trade Kamara away. However, there's an argument to be made because you can save almost $12 million if you trade him after June 1st. Now, of course, you're not going to be able to get some draft picks back for this year because the draft is in April. So that's kind of like that makes it kind of tough. Trade him away, get some, maybe a player, maybe some future draft capital, but the dead money is about $7 million. And like I said, I don't want him gone. I want him here. But you need that cap space. And the production for Kamara over the last few years, it started to take a dip, and he is kind of getting on the wrong side of the age column for a running back, and he's a great dual threat player. I still do believe he's one of the top dual threat running backs in the league, but that is why I think that he could be a valuable trade asset so you can get the most in return. I don't think there's a lot of players on this roster you could get more in return for than Alvin Kamara or a player like a Marshawn Lattimore or something. So Kamara, unfortunately, in this situation, you need to save some money and you got to trade him away. Again, I don't want it to happen, but I could see it happening. So what is your asking price in an Alvin Kamara trade? If you're the GM, put yourself in Mickey Loomis's shoes. What's your asking price in a Kamara trade? If you are like, absolutely not, I'm never trading him, just say that in the comment section as well, because I want you to get vocal about how much you love AK-41. But if you are willing to trade him, let me know what the asking price is. All right, and the last one's pretty obvious. We talked about restructuring Derek Carr, but got to restructure a lot of freaking contracts. I spent probably about 20, 30 minutes playing around on the over-the-cap cap calculators, the cap space calculator, trying to figure out how you can make this work. And here is my 10 restructures. You go and restructure Demario Davis, you're saving $8.09 million. Carl Granderson, you save $7.24. Eric McCoy, just under $7 million. Taysom Hill, over $6.5 million. Cesar Ruiz as well, $6.5 million. Tyrann Mathieu, you can save almost $6 million there. Juwan Johnson, you can save $3.6 million there as well. Nathan Shepard, $2.23 million. Jamal Williams, just under $2 million. And Foster Moreau, you could save $1.84 million if you restructure those contracts for a grand total of $50.78 million in contract restructure. So let's run back through this right here. We cleared $105.33 million, baby. I can't wait to do my taxes because I'm clearly a money guru over here. First things first, restructure Derek Carr. You save $23 million. Second, renegotiate Ryan Ramczyk. You save $12.63. Third, cut Marcus May. You save $7.24 million. Trade Alvin Kamara. Unfortunately, you save $11.68 million. That's a big silver lining in my opinion. And if you restructure 10 other contracts, $50.78 million for that grand total of over $100 million in savings, meaning the Saints can go and sign some extra players. They can bring in some extra talent. And if the salary cap gets increased to $250 million, it just spreads it out even more, or it makes the money go even further, and I love it. So get loud in the comments section, Saints fans. If you think I should be the GM of the New Orleans Saints, give me a trizzy down in the comments section. I had a lot of fun making this video. Kind of made me feel like a GM. So if you enjoyed the video as well, I encourage you to like the video, and don't forget to subscribe. But Who Dat Nation, y'all stay golden. We'll see you next time.